Welcome to Afternoon Tea in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I have 3 afternoon tea reviews from our recent trip. This is the first one at Dandelion Pub. But first, who am I? I am the self-proclaimed queen of afternoon tea, reviewing afternoon tea in North America, mostly known on the Clock app, but making my way here now on YouTube. Links on screen to learn more about me. Now, let's get into this tea time review. Midway through the summer, my husband and I attended afternoon tea at a British pub in Philadelphia, and it put on a noteworthy tea spread. This is afternoon tea for 2 people at the Dandelion Pub in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The reason I was drawn to this afternoon tea was actually the menu. I liked the lion logo holding the tiered plate. He was a dandelion. See what I did there? And the description of the tea tier options, down the rabbit hole and who stole the tarts. I mean, come on, how cute is that? When I didn't see scones listed, I messaged them on Instagram to make sure that scones would be served before I booked it. I also knew my husband would be comfortable having tea with me at a bar, is another reason that I wanted to come here. The Royal Occasion tea is meant for 2 people and came with 1 teapot meant to be shared. There were only 6 tea options, which is definitely on the smaller side. We chose Earl Grey, and my husband also ordered a beer. We were in a pub after all. You could add a second teapot for $7 according to the menu. The tea brand being used here is Tea Pigs, which tasted okay to me, rating the tea situation as 3.5 out of 5 here. The food was delivered in quick time and was ample. The tiered plate housed the savories and sweet options, and the scones were served on a plate separately. For savories, each guest received 6 finger sandwiches: salmon, egg salad, country ham, cheese and red pepper, coronation chicken salad, and a cucumber sandwich. Substitutions were not permitted, but I did try them all except the salmon, of course. 6 sandwiches is quite generous. It was unfortunate that they were all served on the same type of bread, so there wasn't any variety, but they tasted good and the bread was fresh. And these finger sandwiches are more classic British in my experience. And this is a British pub, so it's all very fitting here. I liked the coronation chicken salad best. The savories receive a score of 4.5 out of 5 points. For us, scones are eaten next. We each got 1 scone. In terms of the scones, 1 scone was decently fresh, but 1 scone was definitely a day-old scone because it was super crumbly and very dry. This is me cutting it. You can see it crumbling everywhere. The scones were served with a shared pot of house-made cream and fruit coulis, or a very thin compote. We also asked for butter, not shown here, which was very cold, but we made it work. The fresher scone tasted good. It was a cakey scone, but also quite buttery, so I was happy with that. But I wish that both scones had been fresh, because my husband's was definitely not the same experience, unfortunately. The cream tasted fine, but it was not likely authentic clotted cream because it had a slightly sweet flavor. The fruit coulis tasted sweet and tart, but it was very watery. All in all, the scones are receiving a score of 4 out of 10. Moving back to the tiers, we each got 7 sweets. 7 sweets, which took up 2 tiers of the plate. The sweets maybe lacked color, but the shapes and textures were varied, so that was nice. The sweets included a small crispy crumble bite like an oat cake, a softer crumble bite, a shortbread cookie, a lemon square, a plain cheesecake. Darn, I wish we had saved some of that fruit coulis for putting on top of the cheesecake, and a spiced cupcake with cream cheese frosting. And there was actually a moist chocolate cake. All of these things tasted fine. Certainly the quantity of sweets was very generous. We both liked the chocolate cake most. These sweets were ample and I scored them 5 out of 5, given the quality and variety you'd expect at a British pub. The ambiance and service here is also heavily influenced by it being in a pub. This is not a nice garden or a castle tea venue with fine attention to detail or a high level of service. This is what it is, tea in a busy British pub. Therefore, it scores low on ambiance and service at 2 out of 5 points. This would be a good tea time experience for mixed company, people who want to drink beer or order bangers and mash, and afternoon tea. There is something here for everyone. This afternoon tea cost $60 for 2 guests, which is 83 Canadian dollars for all of the food that we received, which is meant for 2 people. The beer was $7, so our total before tip was $72.50. This tea then is $30 or 42 Canadian dollars per person, and is priced very fairly when you look at it that way. I might bring my grandma here if it weren't for all the steers, and overall I had a good experience for a pub atmosphere, so my overall impression score is 6.5 out of 10. On the whole, the overall score for Dandelion Pub's afternoon tea is a Queen of Afternoon Tea rating of 25.5 out of 40, which is 64%. Would you attend afternoon tea in a bar like this? Who would you take with you? Comment below to share your impressions, and please subscribe for more afternoon tea time content.